Alright, welcome to the Week 4 Deplorable League recap video. I'm your host, the Donald Trump of fantasy football. Now, yes, you may notice there is a giant slime plushie in the background, and no, I don't care if you don't like him, because quite frankly, I think he's awesome, man. This is my space. So not only will we be touching on the recap materials like usual, but I would also like to touch on our COVID policies for this season since it became relatively relevant this past week, and some trading stuff since Special K and Foosball were complaining about that as well. And I also want to have a segment in here about stop pissing me off various owners or what grinds my gears. Now we're going to start with the COVID stuff. As you may notice on Dr. Feelgood's roster, he has Cam Newton, who tested positive for COVID. Next to his name on the roster, you'll see that little red C. And it's only players with that red C that can go on your additional IR spots. Every team was given three. One is for normal injuries, the other two are for COVID positive players. So if Feelgood wanted to, he could throw Newton into his second IR spot. There would be no problem with that. If you're losing guys because of bye weeks or some, shuffled games like the Steelers Titans were this past week, that doesn't count. You're just going to have to deal with it like normal bye weeks. I also touched on it in the league chat, but I'm sure there were plenty of owners who probably didn't see it because it got buried under a bunch of stupid nonsense. But essentially, if a game like the Chiefs Patriots are moved from like Sunday to Monday or Tuesday night because of a positive test, obviously you can still start the players in those games. But if you find out, say Monday afternoon or Tuesday afternoon, the game's being canceled and postponed, like the Steelers Titans one were, you're going to take a zero if you don't have anyone else to throw into your lineup for games that weren't played yet. Essentially, you can treat it like a questionable player for a Monday night game. If they play, you're going to get points. If not, you risk taking a zero. So, it's up to owners to have some kind of backup measure there. Lastly, as far as the entire season is concerned, I fully intend to have the Deplorable League fully finish this season and to crown a champion. The only way that we're going to end early and end up refunding everyone their money is if either A, the NFL cancels their season entirely, or B, if it's a scenario where the NFL just decides to end the regular season early and jump right into like a bubble playoff scenario. Obviously, in that kind of scenario, we wouldn't be able to run our playoffs in time, so you pretty much would have to end the season early and just refund out the cash. Now, if we find out far enough in advance that they're planning to do something like that, which, given the nature of COVID, is not likely, but there's always that small possibility, then obviously I would support just moving the playoffs, the 3-week playoffs we're going to have up early, because there's 6 teams that get into the playoffs, and just try and shoot through that before the end of the regular season for the NFL. Obviously, at this point, that might be a little difficult to coordinate because teams like Zach Ertz, who clearly are probably not going to the playoffs this season, might be against anything that keeps you from getting your refund back. But we'll see what the owners, all the rest of you owners have to say, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Hopefully, it doesn't become an issue. So that pretty much covers all the COVID material. If any owners have any questions or concerns about that, you can reach out to myself or Special K. We'll do our best to give you some more guidance on that. Next, I would like to talk about someone who's pissing me off right now, and that would be OK Google. Yes, I'm going to call you out. Now, generally in these kind of recap videos, if I'm singling out a particular owner, it's all in good humor, it's good natured. I'm not trying to take personal shots at anyone. So, if you take a little bit of offense or something to anything I say, you're free to post a trash talk video or post something in the league chat. You're specifically encouraged to do that. But just know I'm trying to be, playful in all of this, and I don't want you to take it personally. However, in this one case with OK Google, I'm not joking, and I want you to take it personally because I'm getting annoyed right now. Now, let's go through the list of everything he has fucked up this season. Number one, he drafted really stupidly. Now, I can forgive that as long as, you're running your team well and doing everything you should be doing on a year-to-year basis because, quite frankly, OK Google was not the only team that drafted questionably this season. However, that was only the first strike. Because after that, Le'Veon Bell goes down hurt week one, ends up on the short-term IR for the Jets, and OK Google doesn't use his IR spot, doesn't really pick up anyone to replace Le'Veon Bell. He just plugs in his only other running back, Kerryon Johnson, who has been averaging like 3 freaking points a game. Like you grab someone off the waiver wire who's going to score a hell of a lot more than that on a day-to-day, on a week-to-week basis, and he's not doing that. In fact, OK Google has not once this season used the waiver wire free agent system to add a single player to his roster, to make a single move. Like he has done absolutely nothing. And then we jump into the fact that when it comes to trades, and again, I'm going to jump into this much more in depth later on in another topic, but I just want to hit on it briefly here. Like the guy is either not responding to trade offers or taking literally the entire week to do so. And I'd offered him some trades myself, and I got a little suspicious, so I looked at his settings for communications. What he's getting emails for in the league, and I noticed that he had literally shut off everything. Like he set it up so that he would not get a single email for anything in the league, including trade notifications. And for those who are unfamiliar, when you sign up in a new league like this, the default is to have notifications on for a lot of stuff. So you actually have to manually go in and shut off all of those settings in order to get that. Now, of course, I went ahead and manually set his trade notifications on and then sent him a little note saying, you can't turn this off. I don't care about the rest. You can't turn this damn one off. And he's still not responding to anything in a timely manner. We'll touch on that more later. But I think the one thing that was kind of just set it over the fucking edge for me was that this past weekend he starts Jared Cook, the tight end for the New Orleans Saints, and the dude was announced out like 2.5 days before the Sunday game. You had other players you could have played. You could have grabbed someone on waiver wires. And yeah, due to how this week played out, you would have lost anyway. But for the love of God, there is no excuse for starting that guy. And I know, honestly, he's not the only team that's done that this year. I mean, last week we had Spencer Strasmore starting Julio Jones, who was declared out like I think an hour or two before the kickoff of the noon games on that Sunday. But at least that, I can kind of excuse to a certain extent because let's face it, we're a league of adults with, careers, and a lot of us have spouses and kids and other responsibilities in life where you may not always be able to sit down and actually enjoy the NFL games on Sunday, let alone checking, inactives and shit or Sunday morning. I'm like, it happens. I'm willing to forgive it every now and again. Another example would be, Blue Team this week. They had Devontae Adams. They put him in his lineup. He was supposed to play Monday night. He didn't. And Blue Team didn't have anyone else that they could actually swap in for Adams. They basically had to eat the zero on that. Now, granted, I think any halfway intelligent owner would have realized that Adams was not going to play based on the super conservative nature of the Packers medical team and the fact they have a week 5 bye, but whatever. It was a tactical decision. It didn't actually matter because Blue Team just got destroyed. But the point is, like, that's another kind of strategic decision that I'm generally willing to overlook because he didn't really know that Adams was going to be out till, quite frankly, Monday afternoon. And at that point, they didn't really have anyone that they could drop. So with Google, it's just like, dude, 2.5 days in advance. Like you had plenty of freaking time to pick up someone, swap someone in, and you didn't. Like you're literally, and if you click on the team name of someone on the home page, you can see the last time they logged in. I've been watching, Google logs in maybe once, twice a week, set the lineup, check the score. That's it. And it's just like, dude, come on. Like people don't need to be incredibly invested in this league and just always checking in, always doing shit. But at the very least, you got to put in minimum damn effort. I realize you paid your league fee, but you're ruining it for everyone else, man. Like, get it together. I'm like, if you cannot competently run your team, then hand it over to someone who can, because this is just bloody embarrassing. And I get it. I've talked to Special K because he was the one who recruited him. And Special was telling me earlier that, yeah, Google has a lot going on in terms of like being super busy with work and all that shit. But guess what? Every single other damn owner in this league is busy with work and other responsibilities too. And they still have the 5 minutes a week necessary to do the basic minimum of setting a real lineup. All right? Get it together or just stop. All right, just hand it over to someone who will competently run that team. God. All right. That's all I want to say about Google. I don't want to lay into them too much. But again, on one last thing there, I'm like, it's week 4, man. Week fucking 4. I do not want to have to put up with this all season long. Nobody wants to put up with this fucking thing for all season long. God damn. Okay. Next subject we need to talk about trades. Because there was some bitching about people not responding to trades. Specifically, I had Foosball complaining about Caitlyn Jenner. I had Special K complaining about Strasmore. Now, there are two different issues we're going to need to discuss: the people who are receiving the trades and the people who are sending the trades. I'm going to talk about the people receiving it first. All right, as far as Jenner, I've talked to him, and it seems like his general thing is that he'll respond to some offers, but not all of them. And I get that there's this whole thing of, if you get like a really insulting offer, to just ignore it as kind of a way to say F you to the guy sending it. And believe me, we've all at one point or another sent shitty trades for particular reasons, usually to try and take advantage of a taco or something. We're all guilty of it. But I'm like, at the same time, Jenner, come on, man. Like, you see the trades, they're there. If you don't like it, just reject the damn thing. Like, quit playing games, quit screwing around. If you don't like it, just reject it. And that goes for every single owner here. You should be responding to those trade offers. And if you're one of those owners who just simply doesn't want to trade no matter what, like do everyone a favor and just post that in the message board, send out an email, do something to let people know so they're not wasting their time trying to formulate trades with you, and then you don't have to waste your time responding to them because you won't get them. If you happen to change your mind later on in the season, let people know, great, you can start working with them again. There's absolutely no excuse for just randomly ignoring these trade offers. And I know Strasmore, he was the other one. Again, he shouldn't be he shouldn't be ignoring them. I haven't spoken to him about the issue. You know, he's an experienced fantasy football player, but as far as I know, he hasn't used MFL before. And I know he contacted me prior to week 1 with some confusion about how to add drop people. So there is a part of me that just wonders whether or not he even knows how to check his trades, or whether he's properly getting the emails or they're going to his junk spam folder. I don't know. I'm gonna have to talk to him about that, or I'm sure he's gonna watch this video. You can fill me in when he does watch it. But I would like to see him start responding to trade offers, because he has been genuinely ignoring them from what I understand. I think Special K's trade was ignored. I know I've sent him a couple offers; those have gone ignored entirely. So I'm like, it is an issue. I'm gonna have to address that with him at some point. Now,